Have you ever had one of those quiet moments, maybe early in the morning while sipping your coffee, when you stop and ask yourself, am I doing okay at this stage in life? Not just physically, but in a bigger sense. Like, am I really living or just getting by? It's a question that sneaks up on a lot of us after 70. And the answer might surprise you, because it's not about how much money you've saved or how many birthdays you've celebrated. It's about the little signs, things you're probably already doing, that show you're not just surviving, but thriving. Now, I want to talk to you today like a friend. No lectures, no medical mumbo-jumbo. Just real talk about real life. Because believe it or not, your body, your habits, and your mindset, they're already telling a story. A story that might say, you're doing better than you think. And if you recognize even a few of these signs in yourself, then congratulations, you're absolutely winning at life after 70. In this video, we're going to talk about 7 subtle but powerful signs that prove you're not just aging, you're aging well. You'll walk away feeling inspired, with a fresh appreciation for the things you're already doing right. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find a few new things to feel proud of. Let's ease into it with the first sign. And I want you to really think about this one. Do you still wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose? It doesn't have to be grand. You're not trying to solve world hunger. Maybe it's taking care of your garden, walking your dog, calling a friend who needs you, or baking your famous cornbread for the grandkids. That's not just keeping busy. That's purpose. And having a reason to get out of bed each morning, that right there is a major sign that you're thriving. You see, people often think retirement or growing older means losing their sense of direction. But if you still feel like your day has meaning, like you matter to someone or something outside of yourself, that's one of the strongest indicators of emotional wellness in older adults. It means your heart is still engaged. And when your heart is in it, your body tends to follow. And that leads us into the second sign, one that's deeply tied to both physical and mental health, your ability to move. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting weights at the gym. I mean simple movement. Can you still walk around your home without needing support? Do you take little strolls outside? Can you carry a light bag of groceries or stand for 10 minutes while making a sandwich? Mobility is freedom. And keeping that freedom after 70 is one of the biggest victories there is. Studies show that seniors who remain mobile tend to live longer, feel happier, and require less help from others. And you don't need a fancy fitness plan to maintain it. Just stretching in the morning, dancing a little to your favorite song, or walking to the mailbox instead of asking someone else to grab the mail, that all counts. Now, maybe you've had surgeries, or maybe arthritis slows you down a bit. That's okay. The fact that you still try, that you don't give in or give up, that's the victory. It means you've got resilience, which is one of the most powerful indicators of well-being as we age. All right, let's keep going. Here's the third sign, and it's one I bet you don't hear enough about. You laugh. Yep, just that. You still laugh, maybe at a corny joke, or when your grandchild says something wild, or even at yourself when you forget why you walked into the room. That laughter, that lightness, is no small thing. Laughter is like a wellness reset button. It lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormones, and improves immune function. More than that, it's a sign that your spirit is still vibrant. That you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. That even though life might have gotten quieter, your joy hasn't dimmed. Some people stop laughing as they age because they feel there's nothing left to laugh about. But not you. If you can still find humor in the little things, if you can smile even on a hard day, that means you've kept a spark alive, and that spark is priceless. Now, before we move on, let's just pause for a second. Think about those 3 signs we just talked about. Waking up with purpose. Moving your body, even a little. And letting yourself laugh. How many of those can you check off right now? Even 1 is powerful. 2 or 3? That's not luck, my friend. That's strength. That's winning. And the beautiful thing is, none of these signs are about being perfect or living like you're 40 again. It's about living well in the season you're in, appreciating what you still can do instead of mourning what you can't. Next, we're going to look at another sign, one that doesn't show up in the mirror but lives in your mind and your conversations. It has to do with how you think, how you connect, and how you find meaning in your daily life. Because thriving after 70 isn't just about what your body can do, it's about what your mind chooses to focus on. Let's talk about your mind now, because one of the clearest signs that you're truly winning at life after 70 is how you think. Are you still curious? Do you ask questions, read, learn new things, or take time to reflect on life? That's the fourth sign, and it's a big one. You stay mentally active. Mental sharpness isn't about doing crossword puzzles every day, though those can help. It's deeper than that. It's about having a mind that still seeks growth, even in small ways. Maybe you love watching documentaries, or reading new books, or picking up little tidbits of news that make you go, "Well, I didn't know that." That's brain fuel. And the great news is, studies have shown that the brain is remarkably flexible, even into your 80s and beyond. It thrives when you give it something to do, something to explore. So if you're someone who still likes to learn, who enjoys a good conversation that makes you think, or who occasionally surprises your grandkids with a fact they didn't know, then you're doing more than just keeping busy. You're keeping your brain young. Mental activity also protects you from decline. It helps delay memory loss, sharpens your focus, and improves mood. Think of your brain like a garden. The more you nurture it, give it sunlight, water it with curiosity, the more it blossoms. And if you're already doing that, then go ahead and smile. That's one more win in your corner. Now, the fifth sign you're truly thriving after 70 may not seem obvious right away, but it's one that says a lot about your heart. Ask yourself this: do you maintain meaningful relationships, whether that's family, friends, neighbors, or even a pet? Because if the answer is yes, that's a powerful sign of emotional wellness. We humans are social creatures. That doesn't mean you need to be at parties every weekend or have hundreds of friends. In fact, many people find their circle gets smaller as they age, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is connection. It's having someone to call when you're feeling down. It's sharing a meal with a friend, laughing with your spouse, or simply enjoying a moment with someone who truly sees you. Loneliness is one of the most damaging conditions for seniors. It quietly chips away at joy and health. But if you found even just one or two solid connections, people who care about you, who make you feel valued, then you've got something that many people go searching for all their lives. And if you are that person for someone else, that's even more powerful. You don't need a crowd. You just need quality. Deep relationships help reduce stress, support a healthy heart, and even boost your immune system. If you've got love in your life, even in small doses, you're already richer than you know. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite signs. And this might surprise you. The sixth sign you're truly thriving after 70 is this: you adapt. Life after 70 can come with a lot of changes, some planned, some unexpected. Maybe your body isn't as fast as it used to be. Maybe you've had to downsize your home. Maybe friends have moved away or passed on. But if you found a way to adjust, to adapt without giving up your spirit, that's real strength. Think about it. If you figured out how to cook with one hand after shoulder surgery, or how to do video calls with grandkids when you used to hate technology, then you're not just surviving. You're resilient. You're proving that age doesn't stop you from living a full, flexible, meaningful life. Adaptability means you're open. You don't get stuck in the way things used to be. Instead, you find new ways to enjoy life. And that attitude? That's gold. It helps you stay positive, keeps depression at bay, and gives you the confidence to keep going even when things don't go according to plan. One of the most beautiful things I've seen is a 78-year-old woman learning how to text for the first time so she could stay in touch with her great-grandchildren. Or a man in his 80s who took up painting after his wife passed, using his art to express what words couldn't. That's not weakness. That's evolution. And if you're someone who's embraced change instead of resisting it, then trust me, you're doing better than most. Now that we've looked at your purpose, your movement, your laughter, your curiosity, your relationships, and your adaptability, there's one more sign left. But before we get to that final one, let's just take a breath and reflect. These signs aren't about perfection. They're not about having the best diet or the perfect blood pressure. They're about how you live. About the quiet strength in your choices. The fact that you get up, show up, stay connected, laugh a little, stretch a little, learn a little, that's the definition of thriving. So if you've seen yourself in even some of these points, give yourself credit. You're winning, not just because you're alive, but because you're living with intention, grace, and courage. All right, let's talk about the seventh and final sign in just a moment. This one's deeply personal and maybe the most important of all. It's the kind of thing that doesn't show up in checkups or lab reports, but it shapes how you experience every single day. Let's talk about that final sign. And I want you to take this one to heart because it's something that doesn't come with age automatically. It's something you've had to earn, to build, and sometimes to fight for. The seventh sign that you're truly winning at life after 70 is this: you have peace with who you are and where you are in life. Now, that kind of peace doesn't always come easily. Some folks spend decades chasing it. But if you've reached a point where you're not constantly looking backward with regret or forward with anxiety, if you can sit quietly and feel content in your own skin, in your own home, in your own story, then you've arrived at a place many people never reach. It doesn't mean everything in your life went perfectly. Maybe there were hardships, mistakes, missed chances. Maybe there are still things you wish had gone differently. But if you've learned to forgive yourself, to accept what was and embrace what is, then that's real wisdom. And wisdom is one of the most beautiful parts of aging, one that only life experience can give you. There's something powerful about waking up and not feeling the need to compare yourself to anyone. You don't need to keep up. You don't need to prove anything. If you can say, "I like the person I've become," even quietly to yourself, that's a major victory. That's peace. Some people chase youth, or fame, or money, thinking that will bring happiness. But the truth is, contentment, genuine contentment, is the real prize. If you've let go of bitterness, released old grudges, and chosen to focus on what brings you joy rather than what brings you stress, you're already living a richer life than most. And I want to be clear, this kind of peace doesn't mean life is always easy. It just means you found a way to stay calm in the middle of the storm. Maybe your joints ache, maybe the news is overwhelming, maybe some days feel heavier than others, but you still find something to smile about. You still keep going. That's not just peace, that's grace. So now, let's pull it all together. Think about everything we've talked about so far. You wake up with purpose, even if it's something simple. You move your body because you still can, and because deep down, you know it keeps you free. You laugh, sometimes at yourself, sometimes with others, and that laughter lights up your spirit. You challenge your brain. You don't let it go quiet. You feed it with curiosity, conversations, and new ideas. You stay connected. Whether it's with friends, family, or a neighbor across the street, you understand that relationships are the lifeline of the soul. You adapt. You've adjusted to changes, learned new skills, let go of old expectations, and embraced the world as it is today. And finally, you found peace. You've accepted who you are and what life has brought you, and instead of resisting the passage of time, you've made peace with it. That, my friend, is how you know you're winning at life after 70. Not because of a checklist. Not because of what anyone else says. But because you're still living fully, with heart, with humor, with resilience, and with purpose. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from all of this, it's this: you are doing better than you think. It's easy to focus on what hurts, what's missing, or what's changed. But today, let's flip that perspective. Let's look at what's still here, what's still possible, and what's still beautiful about the life you're living right now. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are in a chapter that is just as important and often more meaningful than any that came before. The wisdom you carry, the stories you hold, the kindness you show, the strength you've developed through years of ups and downs, all of that matters deeply. And it matters not just to you, but to the people around you, to the world, and to the younger generations watching and learning from your example. So I want to invite you to pause and reflect. Think about those 7 signs. Which ones felt familiar to you? Which ones made you smile or say, "Yes, that's me"? And which ones maybe gave you something to work toward? Because this isn't about a finish line. It's not about ticking off boxes. It's about recognizing that right now, you have the power to live meaningfully. To age with dignity, joy, and a sense of purpose. Whether you're 70, 75, 80, or beyond, you are still here, and you are still capable of incredible things. Now, in just a bit, we're going to talk about how to take these ideas and turn them into action. Because maybe you're thinking, okay, this sounds good, but where do I start? Or maybe you're wondering if it's too late to build some of these habits into your own life. In fact, I'll be sharing simple, practical steps you can take, even today, to strengthen your body, lighten your mood, deepen your relationships, and bring more peace into your life. Because knowing these signs is one thing, but living them every day is where the real transformation happens. So let's take all these beautiful signs we've talked about: purpose, mobility, laughter, curiosity, connection, adaptability, and peace, and bring them into your daily life in a simple, realistic way. Because knowing you're doing well is wonderful. But knowing how to keep it going? That's the real key. Let's start with one of the most common questions I hear from people in their 70s and beyond. Where do I even begin if I don't feel like I'm winning at life right now? Maybe you've had a rough few years. Maybe your health's been up and down, or you've lost someone close to you. That's completely normal. Life after 70 can come with some heavy moments. But that doesn't mean joy, purpose, or improvement is out of reach. It just means you may need to start small. And small is powerful. Let's say you're struggling with mobility. You don't have to join a gym or walk 5 miles a day. Just start with 10 minutes. 10 minutes walking around your home, doing gentle stretches while watching TV, or simply standing up and sitting down from a chair a few times in a row. That movement keeps your muscles engaged, your joints flexible, and your confidence growing. A little bit each day, and suddenly you're stronger than you were a month ago. Now, let's talk about laughter. If you haven't laughed in a while, that's okay too. Try this: watch a classic comedy you used to love. Or call someone who always makes you smile. Even better, spend a few minutes thinking of the silliest thing you've ever done, and tell someone about it. Laughter doesn't always show up on its own, but you can invite it in. And once it's there, it tends to stick around. When it comes to mental sharpness, I always tell folks, don't underestimate the power of curiosity. You don't need to learn a new language or master chess, unless you want to, of course. It can be as simple as learning one new thing a day. Ask your grandchild about their favorite subject in school. Look up something you heard on the news. Read a short article or listen to an audiobook. Every time you learn something new, your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. And that keeps you sharp, focused, and feeling engaged. Now, here's a question that comes up a lot. What if I've lost most of my social circle? How do I build relationships again at this age? That's a tender one, and it's more common than most people think. If that's you, I want to remind you, you're not alone, and it's not too late. Start small. Reach out to a neighbor. Attend a local community event, even if it's just once a month. Check out your senior center or library. Many places offer small group gatherings like book clubs, crafting afternoons, or walking groups. Don't worry if you feel awkward at first. Everyone feels that way. What matters is that you're showing up. And every time you do, you're creating the chance for a new connection to form. And for those of you who are already connected, cherish that. Make it a habit to nurture those relationships. Call your friends. Write letters. Invite someone for coffee. Just hearing a familiar voice can lift your spirits more than you realize. Another question I hear is, how can I adapt to all these changes when I feel so overwhelmed? It's a fair question. Changes in health, living situation, or even technology can feel like a lot. But remember this, adaptation isn't about changing overnight. It's about being open. Let's say your doctor wants you to change your diet, and you've eaten the same way for 40 years. Instead of flipping your world upside down, try one change. Add one healthier food each week. Or replace soda with water at just one meal. These tiny shifts build confidence and momentum. The same goes for technology. Don't try to master everything. Start with one app. Maybe a video call app so you can see your loved ones more often. Or a simple voice assistant that lets you set reminders. Ask someone to show you slowly. Write it down. Practice until it feels natural. You're not falling behind, you're learning something new. And that's incredible. Let's talk about something even deeper now, peace of mind. A lot of people quietly wonder, how do I find peace when I have regrets? Maybe there were things you didn't do, words you didn't say, mistakes you wish you could take back. That kind of reflection can be heavy. But here's what I want you to know: regret is a sign of growth. It means you've lived, you've loved, you've learned. Instead of running from those feelings, try writing them down. Give them a voice. You can even write a letter to your younger self, or to someone you've lost. It doesn't have to be sent, it's just for you. Often, putting thoughts into words helps you let go. And when you let go, you make room for peace. And if faith is important to you, lean into it. Whether that's prayer, meditation, or just sitting quietly with your thoughts. Many people find that peace grows when they pause and reconnect with something larger than themselves. Now here's a simple piece of advice I give often: create a daily ritual that makes you feel good. Just one thing. Maybe it's sitting outside for 10 minutes every morning. Maybe it's writing 3 things you're grateful for before bed. Maybe it's listening to your favorite song and dancing, yes, even in the kitchen. These tiny rituals tell your brain, I'm still in control. I still find joy. I still matter. And when you do them consistently, they become anchors, steady, comforting reminders that life is still full of meaning. And finally, I want to encourage you to keep asking questions. Keep engaging. Ask your doctor what more you can do for your health. Ask your loved ones how they're doing. Ask your community what activities you can join. Ask me, right here in the comments, anything that's on your heart. This is a community, and we grow stronger together. So now that we've explored all these layers, how to bring purpose into your day, how to move with confidence, how to laugh more, learn more, connect deeper, and embrace change, take a moment and ask yourself, what's one thing I can start doing today? That's all it takes. One step, one habit, one decision. And with every new day, you're building a life that continues to bloom, rich in purpose, full of joy, and firmly rooted in the belief that it's never too late to live well. Let's talk more about that and wrap things up together with some encouragement, a little motivation, and a reminder that you've got so much more ahead of you. If you made it this far in the video, I want you to pause and recognize something important. You showed up for yourself today. That's not always easy to do. With everything else pulling at your time and attention, you made the decision to spend a little while focusing on you. On your health, your happiness, your future. And that, in itself, is a powerful act of self-care. So let me ask you this, what's one thing you can do, right now, to build on that? Maybe it's standing up and stretching your legs. Maybe it's calling someone you love, just to hear their voice. Maybe it's going for a short walk, even if it's just to the kitchen and back. Or maybe it's simply sitting quietly and saying to yourself, I'm doing okay. I'm still here. And I'm still growing. Because the truth is, no matter where you are in your journey, 70, 75, 80, or beyond, you still have time to make your life richer, brighter, and more meaningful. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take one small, intentional step each day. Now, if anything in this video resonated with you, if you saw even one of these 7 signs in yourself, I want you to do something. First, click that like button below. It helps others find this message, and it lets me know you found value here. And then, please share this video with someone else who might need a gentle reminder that they, too, are doing better than they think. Maybe it's a friend who's been feeling down. Maybe it's a sibling who's had a tough year. Maybe it's someone you love who just needs a little encouragement. Send it to them. Tell them, hey, I watched this and thought of you. And while you're here, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of people just like you, folks who want to age with strength, with grace, and with joy. We talk about real-life topics. We share practical advice. And we remind each other that growing older doesn't mean fading away. It means rising into a new kind of wisdom. And yes, we've got more videos coming. In fact, in the next one, we'll explore simple ways to keep your memory sharp and your mind focused as you age, something a lot of you have asked about. So hit that notification bell too, so you don't miss it when it drops. But before we close out, I want to leave you with this: age is just a number. What truly defines your quality of life isn't your birth year, it's the choices you make today. Every day you choose to move, to smile, to learn something new, or to forgive someone, including yourself, you are creating a life that's worth celebrating. And yes, you've had your share of hard days. You've faced loss. You've known grief. You've walked through storms that younger folks can't even imagine. But here you are. Still standing. Still showing up. Still choosing life. That, to me, is the definition of strength. Of success. Of winning. So the next time you find yourself wondering, am I doing okay? I want you to remember this video. I want you to hear my voice in your mind, gently reminding you that if you're still living with purpose, still laughing, still learning, still connecting, still adapting, still at peace, you are absolutely, without a doubt, winning at life after 70. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being you. And thank you for reminding the world that getting older isn't the end, it's a deeper beginning. One with more clarity, more freedom, and more heart than ever before. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and above all, stay proud of the life you're living. You've earned it.